Good morning from Seattle, Washington, and welcome to Coffee and Cosmos with Robin. My name is Robin Fritz. I'm the host of the Om Times radio show, The Practical Intuitive. And today I want to spend some time with you playing with crystals. So as we get settled into our time together here today on Facebook Live, I want to chat a little bit about crystals and how we connect with them. We're going to experiment with playing with Fallon today, my crystal partner. So let's get started. And if you hear weird noises, I'm in a building that's currently under construction. So welcome to live Facebook. So welcome again. My name is Robin Fritz. I'm an intuitive and spiritual consultant and certified past life regression specialist based in Seattle, Washington, in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. And today I want to share some thoughts and feelings and ideas and so on about how we create relationships with crystals, or how we play with crystals together, in advance of my radio show this afternoon at omtimes.com radio at 2 Pacific time, 5 Eastern, where I talk about creating a relationship with crystals. But today I thought it would be fun to play live with crystals, and we're going to use Fallon to connect with it and see what you feel and think. So for right now, chime in, let me know where you're viewing from. I'm also going to try to take a few quick questions from people for readings or whatever. But first, as we get into today's broadcast, here's Fallon. He's Citrine Lemurian Quartz, and let's do a quick grounding and balancing exercise with him. So if you take Sharon and Gloria, thanks for chiming in. So take your attention to the top of your head. And imagine we're connecting mind, body, and spirit more tightly together, just consciously thinking mind, body, and spirit. And as you gaze at Fallon, just breathe down from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet and back up again. So breathing down from the top of your head, down your face, your shoulders, your chest, your hips, your knees, and your feet. The top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And just feel the cares of the day releasing, and feel yourself settling into this space that humanity healing has created for us to share together. And now as you breathe up from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head, just breathe in healthy energy. Breathing up from your feet, past your knees, your hips, your chest, your shoulders, your face, and the top of your head. So we're going to come back to Fallon in a moment, but he's kind of heavy to hold up. And I just wanted to give you a heads up and just chat a little bit about what we're going to do today. We're going to have some fun playing with crystals. So chime in with where you are. Maria's from Argentina, but currently in Florida. So welcome all of you, and thanks for sharing and joining in. So today in my radio show this afternoon, I'm going to talk about creating a relationship with crystals. And if you have a crystal, or if you've been curious about crystals, you know that there's tons of stuff written out there. There are videos, there are books, there are people's experiences. And you know, I'm a really practical person. And I'm not going to go out and bury my crystals under the light of the full moon or new moon or whatever. I am just going to create a practical relationship with them, just like I do with my animal family and with all the other beings that I connect with. And I think part of the problem that a lot of us have in trying to connect with non-humans is we think it's weird, or people tell us it's weird. And we think in terms of human intelligence. So, you know, how they teach dolphins to retrieve balls and pick out colors and so on. You know, my question in all of that is, why don't you ask the being that you're communicating with to communicate with you in the way that it best can? And what our job is then to use our intuition to connect with these beings. So you may hear them talk with you if you're primarily clairaudient. You may feel their feelings. You may see pictures, colors, even auras, or you may just know you're connected with them. And that is really how you go about using your intuition to connect to non-humans. including crystals. So what I'm going to do right now is hold up Fallon, and I'm going to invite you to connect with him the way your intuition works most strongly. And then type in here in the comments what you're getting from this connection. Now, don't be worried about it. Don't think, oh, I'm going to get it wrong, because you're not. There's no way you can get a connection wrong. It's just how you respond to it, just like you respond to a person on the street or your animal family or whatever. So here he is. Fallon is Citrine Lemurian Quartz. He's a very rare kind of crystal, and of course even more rare because he's Fallon. And no, I didn't give him that name. I don't try to name anybody in my family. It just doesn't work. I listen for them to tell me their names. So here's how I want you to try this. And then if you're already getting impressions, type them in. And this is an experiment today, back and forth, to see how well I can keep up with your comments. But how are you connecting with him? What are you getting from him? And I'm going to shut up here for a few seconds and just let you experience it. Now remember, it's your first hit, so it comes quick and fast. So there you go. So what are your impressions? Are you going to share in here and tell me, oh, thanks for telling me where you're from. That's cool. California, everyone. Judy, yes, hi. Gloria, I'll talk about cleansing your crystals in a minute, but we'll also talk about it in my radio show this afternoon. So Pamela's getting grounding, peace, balance, and healing. Awesome. Hi, Beth. Thanks for chiming in. So chime in with your experiences. Now, here's the thing. You may get a really, really wild and out there hit from Fallon, and that's perfectly normal. Fallon is not your, I was going to say your average crystal, but none of us are average human, animal, whatever crystal. But Fallon often appears to people who are a little nervous about seeing a real non-human in their heads. So he often appears as a gold man. Some people will feel his energy and they'll feel warmth, or they'll see, because they're clear-seeing people or clairvoyant, they'll see a gold light. They may even see pictures. Now, when people are here in person with us and they experience Fallon in person, but even when they don't, when people experience Fallon in person, if they're clear feeling, then they put their hands on them. And I've seen people just literally shaking because the connection is so powerful, or they'll be suddenly transported beyond the planet and they'll be astral traveling with him across the universe. What other experiences have people had? Sometimes people don't get anything at all because they're clear-knowing people, and they sit there and they feel kind of weird and like, this is really strange. But that's how their intuition works. So what is your first hit on it? So what are we getting here? So Judy's getting a sense of well-being, smiling and laughing. Awesome, that's perfect. So we know that Judy's intuition runs towards feelings, which we call clairsentience or clair feelings. So that's great. You're getting emotions. Some people get flooded with warmth. Some people feel tingling in different parts of their bodies. Some people hear and tell jokes. We can't comment on Fallon's jokes, right? Because they're all personal. I've had emails from people who have gone to my website, and if you want, my website is robinfritz.com. That's ROBYNFRITZ.com. And they'll see him on my website, and then later he'll start talking with them, and they'll go like, oh my gosh, is that okay? Yes, it is. I always joke and say, did he attach my PayPal button to it? But no, he doesn't. Jennifer made you think about a mystical force. Oh, that's awesome. Jennifer, thanks for bringing that up, because A lot of people, when they're gazing at Fallon, they'll see oceans, they'll see dolphins and whales, they'll see mountains and forests. And sometimes when they look at that, they realize, oh, I'm not looking at this planet, I'm looking at another planet. So I'm wondering, Jennifer, do you feel like you're seeing you said a mystical forest? Where do you think that forest is located? Is it physically real, and how does it make you feel? Because that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And somebody's feeling excited. Oh, that's awesome. Cleansing, Allison. Cool, cool, excellent. Peace and calmness. Perfect. Purity, peaceful. Peace and Sonia writes peace and follow through. I'm not sure what you mean by that, and I guess you don't either, Sonia, but that's awesome. You're feeling something, and just go with that connection. That's perfect. A lot of times when people are playing with their intuition, which we're doing here by connecting with Fallon, we don't always get a complete picture of what we're looking at or experiencing, because it comes really fast, and it comes faster than we think, and then our thinking process, it comes faster than we can talk. So go with that. Just go with what you're getting, and know that you're getting something, and later you can ponder that and see if there's a message for you, if you're just actually verifying that, yes, you can use your intuition, and yes, it does mean something to you. Judy, yes, Fallon's reminding you to relax. So you're hearing that, Judy, or feeling that you're getting that from him. Fallon is very talkative with people. One time, I was doing an event and someone was sitting with Fallon, and the person, it was a man, he got a very startled look on his face, and he said, well, Fallon's reminding me of like sometime in the 14th century in Spain, maybe, that he served me chamomile tea. And it's like, that is so awesome. And that's one of the reasons why Fallon and I are out in the world. Fallon is what I call an ancient power crystal. Now, all crystals are powerful. Some have been damaged through mistreatment or just long lives and a lot of issues. And some of them don't communicate with us as well as Fallon does, and that's just the way they are. Some humans don't talk very much, right? And I talk too much, so there you go. So Sharon's feeling powerful, very powerful. Leslie's feeling all over warmth. Perfect. Hi, Beth. Good afternoon. Grounding, peace, and balance. Perfect. And Gloria was going to ask how I cleanse my crystals. So chime in here with other feelings that you're getting. And awesome. So I'm going to cover that more in my radio show this afternoon. But here's the thing. I look at crystals as what they are, real beings who happen to be in crystal form. And there's a lot out there about, like I said, burying them under the light of the full moon or whatever. And I'm just too practical for stuff like that. Anything that sounds weird and out there, I know you're going to say, come on, Robin, you work with a crystal ball. But it's not weird to me. So I guess weirdness is like relative, right? So you need to do some research on your crystals before you try to cleanse them, because some crystals will dissolve if you wash them in water. Others will be damaged by salt if you put them in salt. If you bury them in the backyard, they're going to get dirty, and some neighborhood wildlife will dig it up and cart it away. And plus, how weird is that? I mean, would you want to be buried in the backyard to be cleansed? No. So look up the particular crystal that you have and understand what kind of properties it has as a crystalline structure, because it's a physical thing, and what you can do to cleanse it. So I give Fallon a bath under running water every now and then, and I line the sink with a towel so I don't like drop him or chip him. And he loves water. So I would say ask your crystals how they would like to be cleansed, because they have opinions on that. Fallon happens to like water. Sometimes people bring me crystals that are damaged or somehow not as well as they could be. And so we have a crystal nursery here in our house, and I put them under my 5.5 foot tall jade tree, and they just sit there for a while. Sometimes I've really had to take a soft brush and scrub them, but that was only underwater. That was because I was an amethyst that I knew could handle being scrubbed underwater, and that's what it needed and wanted because it was caked with dirt. So ask them what they need. Sometimes they may just need you to sit with them and to invite them to cleanse themselves. Other times when I'm doing a clearing of my house and I decide to smudge, and I never use sage, so I just don't like sage for smudge. Sage is for food. I like Palo Santo or even a spray, lavender spray or rose spray, or I just invite the space to cleanse itself. And a Palo Santo is a wood from Peru. And a lot of my crystals like that wood, and so I'll just smudge them when I smudge other things in the house. But I'll ask them first, would you like to be smudged? Do you like this smell? And some are like, yay, sure. And others are like, no, I don't like that smell. So ask them what they need and want from you for cleansing and for connection. And that's how you create a relationship with your crystals. But I'll talk more about that in stories that I'll share with you on my radio show this afternoon. Really amazing stories of how easy it is to connect with our crystals and what we learned with by doing that. So let me see if there's any other quick questions here or any comments, but all of you have played along so well today and you've had really great hits. So I'm hoping that this gives you more confidence in how you're approaching using your intuition and connecting with non-humans. And crystals are really one of the ways that we do that. When Fallon and I first got back together, we have had many lifetimes together, and we only got back together in my lifetime, my current lifetime, in 2009. We talked about how an ancient cataclysm separated us from our crystals. And there are two main things that we remembered as humans from those ancient times, and that's how to work with crystals and how to work with herbs. The problem in our current time is that people think, well, if science doesn't define it, then it's not legitimate. But there are many other disciplines out there besides science. And what I want you to take away from today's Facebook Live video here is that you can create a relationship with a crystal, with any other non-human, a tree, a bench, your home, your car if you have a car, just by being open and willing to communicate with them. Introduce yourself, ask it if it will communicate with you, and listen for your answer. Now, listening, I'm talking about clairaudience, but also just feeling the answer, knowing the answer, seeing pictures. Your intuition is central to connecting with non-humans. So learn how your intuition works and go from there. So Sharon, I believe it was, that asked about cleansing my crystals. I do different things. Sometimes I just chat with them, ask them what they need. But I try to create a relationship with each of them so I understand what they need and want from me. And that helps us create a better relationship. Sometimes they just want to go and visit people. So don't, when you're worried, or when you're connecting, like you were with Fallon here, I'm going to give you one more chance to connect with Fallon. Don't be worried or upset that you're going to get the wrong thing, because you're going to get what you get, right? And if you get nothing, that's an answer too, because you're not ready to connect right at this moment. Maybe you've got something else going on, you're preoccupied with something, that's fine. When you want to connect with your own crystals or with anything, but today we're just talking about crystals, sit down with them if that's how you work. Sit down with them or go for a walk if you can tuck them in your pocket, and just invite them to connect with you and get the quick first hit. Don't belabor it. Don't worry that it's silly. Don't worry about being right, because you will be right, because you'll be getting something. Even getting nothing is an answer for that moment. If you're stressed, if you're out of sorts, if you're overtired, or if it's just not working, that's fine. But you also may be a person whose intuition runs towards knowing, and that's where you just have to take the leap and go, okay, what's the first thing I'm getting? And go from there. So if you don't have a crystal, go out and get a little one or get a picture of one. There are lots of great books out there with pictures on them. And if you have a crystal after the broadcast today, set a time to sit down and just spend some time with it and relate to it the way you would relate to another human. Curiosity, compassion, interest in them. I mean, if no one was paying attention to you, how interested would you be in communicating with them? And that's kind of the same thing with our crystals. We need a mindset that looks at them as equal to us, as having souls and consciousness and jobs to do, and a choice about doing that job, and certainly opinions. And when you approach other beings the way you approach other humans, you open up an amazing world of connection to all life out there. And humans would be less lonely, less isolated, and less at odds with each other if they were open to all the amazing things out there in the universe. And a great place to start is with crystals. A lot of them are really very patient with us. Some of them are very curious. Some of them are, especially if you find newly mined crystals, they haven't been out and about in the world at all. So you have many adventures in front of you if you just take the opportunity to sit and spend some time with them. Go for a walk or think about them when you're out and about and doing things, and then share. So come back next week and share your experiences with us. And I want to thank you all for chiming in here today and joining in with our little experiment on playing with crystals. So this afternoon on my radio show, I'm going to share some really cool stories about working with crystals, what I've learned from them, more tips on creating a relationship with them. And you're always welcome to call into my radio show. It's usually the first and third Mondays of the month, but last week the show was knocked off air. So I'm doing last week's show today, and it's how to create a relationship with crystals. So go to omtimes.com radio at 2 Pacific time, 5 Eastern. Today, it's the practical, intuitive, mind, body, spirit for the real world. And if you're, some of you are chiming in from different countries, so if it's too late for you and it's bedtime, it's okay, it's archived, and you can always listen to it in the archives. So I want to thank you for joining me today. And the crystal of the week, I do a crystal of the week every week. It's your crystal. So pick a crystal to create a deeper relationship and spend some time with them. I think I've shared this story before, but one time I was sitting in my recliner and I had a big piece of celestite, which is a kind of grayish blue crystal. And it was sitting right here on my chest. And I just was sitting with it, spending some time with it. Wasn't thinking about anything, wasn't, actively trying to have a conversation. I was just spending some time with it. So sometimes we spend time with friends and we're just like drinking coffee or just hanging out and we're not talking. Well, when I was done and I went to put the crystal on the table, I heard it say to me, "You've never adored me before." And I was startled. And it was true. I'd been sitting there just thinking how wonderful it was to spend time with this amazing crystal. So your connection can be that simple. So try it and see how it works for you. Come back here and join us next Monday at 11 a.m. Next week, my radio show, July 1st, is going to be on horse healers. And not humans, but horses as healers. And not as healing us, but as healing other horses. Stories I have never told before next week on my radio show. But come back next week, and if you have a question or a topic you'd like me to cover in one of these Facebook Lives, connect with me here on Facebook at my business page, The Practical Intuitive Robin and Fritz. And if you like these broadcasts, please like that page, the Humanity Healing page, all the Om Times pages. I also have another page, Bridging Species, which I'm picking up again. And I will have a new page coming up here soon called The Afterlife is a Party. which is the name of my upcoming book on what really happens when we die. So we have a lot going on here. Home Times and Humanity Healing always have a lot going on. So come back and join us each week. This is your place, our place together to share, to come into community, and to realize that the world is smaller than we think, and we are a community. So I want to thank you again for joining us today. Cross your hands on your heart, take a deep breath, breathe in all healthy, positive energy. And as you do that, imagine yourself getting grounded back into your body. Connection with Fallon can make you lightheaded because of that wide open crown chakra. Connected back into your body at peace with some ideas about going out and connecting to other life out there, including your crystals. And I want to thank you for joining us. Come back and join us next week. Let us know what you're thinking. Take care. See you next week. Bye.